Lady, I told her, you're talking to a small town reporter. And that Saturday you're talking about, first Saturday in May, it's the busiest Saturday of my year. That is smack dab in the middle of town meeting season. I was on the phone, his beige tank of a phone at the desk where I worked at the Greenfield Recorder, a newspaper. And I was sitting in the middle of the newsroom. It's a noisy place. Making calls, getting calls, that's the lifeblood of a small town newspaper. You spend your life on a little curly wired phone. And people are always calling into the recorder. They're saying things like, I didn't get my paper this morning. Where are my coupons? Can't survive without my coupons. Or, why did you misspell my name in that story? Or, fire across the street, come quick. I was used to those calls. What I wasn't used to, what I wasn't expecting was this call, which was a woman by the name of Phyllis Levin, and she was calling me from the 92nd Street Y in New York City, and she was calling to tell me, we read your poems that you sent, we really liked them, we want to give you the Discovery Award, could you please come to New York City to give a poetry reading? Well, yeah, but that particular Saturday was the Saturday of Montague Town Meeting, Montague being the cornerstone of the beat that I worked at for the newspaper. So I knew that I had to go talk to my editor. I was a little nervous about this. My editor was the kind of guy who would give me mini lectures every time I misplaced a comma in my lead. So I was fully expecting a mini lecture, or maybe even like a full-on lecture. But I didn't get one. He said, we could cover for you. And he said, does this mean you're going to leave us? I didn't know that it meant that. I knew I wanted to go, though. So that Saturday came around, and I was not sitting in the back of the high school auditorium with my little notebook in hand. I was taking a train to New York City. They'd with my then girlfriend, now wife, Lynette. And they'd put us up in the Hotel Beacon. It was a nice place. And it was across the Central Park from the 92nd Street Y. 92nd Street Y, for those of you who might not know, is this amazing cultural institution. They have the Unterberg Poetry Center. They, have events, maybe not unlike this one, where people pay money to come see poetry readings. That blew my mind. So we went, and they didn't have us on the big stage that night. They had us on the little backstage. But even that was cool. The little backstage had been like the house stage for this modernist dance troupe in the 1920s. And it was totally bohemian, and there were like neoclassical artworks all over the walls. And we gave our readings. It was the three other Discovery Award winners and me, and we gave our readings. And it was a quiet room. Everybody was, paying attention, and we were reading our poems, reading these private reportings about our inner lives, and they applauded, and they had the champagne reception afterwards, and I grinned like an idiot. I didn't know what to say. I even got a chance to talk to one of the judges, Catherine Bauman. She's a woman who would pick poems to be read on All Things Considered on NPR at the time. And she said nice things about my poems, and I didn't know what to say to her. But I didn't end up leaving the paper for poetry or to go to New York City. When I did leave the paper, it was go to another paper. So I spent about 3 years, the way that I think of it, as being the gay marriage reporter for the Valley Advocate. But that's a story for another day. I do remember that phone call because it was like a call from another world. I got this peek into, an alternate reality. And I remember walking back that night from the 92nd Street Y to to the hotel, and we walked through the trees down the path. And the trees broke, and there were the ball fields. And on the other side of the ball fields, you could see the sparkling lights of the city. Thank you.